This is not a highlight video. I'm pretty sure most of us were clamoring for this match. We got this match, and boy did it deliver. Roger Federer and Juan Martin Del Potro in the Indian Wells final, and Del Potro takes it 6-4, 6-7, 7-6. What a match by both men. Now, I'm going to go over in this video 5 reasons why Del Potro overcame Federer, 5 reasons why he was able to win, but it's important to recognize before I do that this match could have went either way. Roger Federer was literally a centimeter and a half away from winning this match, serving 40-30 up 5-4 in the third set. He was just this close to getting an ace, but it was out, and Del Potro was able to save those set points. I want to give Del Potro his moment in this video, though. I want to focus on the things that he did well, because he did so many things well, and this, to me, was a special one for Del Potro, because I've always maintained that if Del Potro and Federer are both at their best, I give the advantage to Federer, and statistics have backed me up in that. Federer has won 18 of 25 meetings as we stand right now. But in this match, even more so than the 2009 U.S. Open final and the 2017 U.S. Open semifinal, both big matches that Del Potro won, I feel like this was the best Del Potro win of all of those when it comes to Roger Federer's level of play. I thought Federer played pretty darn well in this match, and Del Potro was still able to overcome them. I feel like in the other 2 matches I just mentioned, Federer gave Del Potro a little bit more help. So to me, this one was really, really big for Del Potro. So I'm going to start number 5 just with clutch Delpo, because in a match like this, it comes down to a few points, and Del Potro, just really got the best of the big points in this one. It happens. Look, the first real implosion we saw in this match, both players were so consistent, it came in the third set tiebreak. Federer did not play a good third set tiebreak, and I really don't want to read into it, because to me, it happens. It can happen to anyone at any time. It's first to 7. That's a small sample size. Roger Federer double faulted twice, and it just didn't go his way. At the same time, you got to give credit to Del Potro. He had nerves of steel, and he wasn't the one to implode. It was Roger Federer. So just that alone is probably the main reason Del Potro won the match, is, winning the big points. And then I also want to point to the 2 drop shots Roger Federer played on 2 of his 3 match points. Probably not great decisions. Meanwhile, Del Potro on a few big points, he seemed to really go to his bread and butter. I'll point out one situation where that was especially evident to finally get that break at 5-4, Federer serving. He hit a bunch of cross-court backhands, waited for his forehand, got that forehand, and hit it triple digits cross-court. Classic Delpo, vintage Delpo on a huge point. So you got to give Delpo credit for his clutchness. But let's get into the tactics here a little bit, because it's always interesting with these two. I feel like Federer has at this point a pattern conundrum. With Delpo, the blueprint has been pretty clear. Pepper that backhand, get it to his backhand as much as you can, wait for your opportunity, be patient with the backhand, and you'll either force an error, or you'll get a short ball, or maybe you'll come to the net and make him hit a passing shot. But the days of that may be over, because Del Potro's backhand is at the point where it's a pretty solid shot. He hits it with really, really good depth. It doesn't have much topspin, but the depth makes up for it. He barely ever makes an error with it, and he places it really well, especially cross-court. So it's a shot that's pretty hard to attack, and Del Potro's shot tolerance is really good, so he can hit it all day. So what are you really accomplishing by just trading it to Del Potro's backhand? In fact, you're taking a pretty big risk, because if you miss your spot, Del Potro can run around and hit a forehand, and that's Del Potro's best shot. His forehand from the ad court, it's his best shot. He can go inside in, he can go inside out, and he hits that ball, that forehand so well. So you're actually taking a risk when you're trying to pepper Del Potro's backhand. He can kind of camp in that corner and try to hit a forehand. In the past, that risk was worth the reward. That risk is no longer worth the reward. Del Potro's backhand at this point is too good. So what do you do with your pattern? What should Federer do? One option is to trade to Del Potro's forehand and attack to Del Potro's backhand. Because one thing with the backhand is it's still not a very versatile shot. Because of his left wrist, when the ball is low, Del Potro is forced to slice it. And then also if the ball is kind of, out of his strike zone a little bit wide, if it's not close enough to his body, he also has to take that left hand off the racket and hit a slice. And Federer in this match really took advantage when he was able to get Del Potro to take his left hand off the racket and hit that slice backhand. Even though Del Potro's slice backhand is really good, Federer ate it up. Here's the problem with that. I'm suggesting right now that Federer trades to Del Potro's forehand, which is generally a terrible idea. And that's why I use the word conundrum, because this really is a conundrum. I'll get to some of the things that Roger Federer, that worked for Roger Federer in this match after this one. Number 3, more on Del Potro's backhand. 2 things that are exceptional that I want to point out, I want to shed light on. Returns and passing shots. The backhand return especially, because he uses it so often, it's so solid. And I think the reason for that is he isn't forced to create his own pace and topspin off of a return. He's able to not block it back because he hits through it, but essentially he's able to swing nice and easy, doesn't have to generate spin with the left wrist because he doesn't like to do that anymore. And he's able to hit it pretty flat, but he hits it so clean and ultimately so deep. The return is great. And on the passing shot, the same thing. He doesn't need to hit it with a tremendous amount of pace, which is where you'll see Del Potro's backhand, where you'll see him more uncomfortable right now after the wrist surgery is generating his own pace on the backhand. So I think the return and the passing shot are 2 areas where Del Potro's backhand has become exceptional. Couple things that worked for Federer. The more Federer disrupted baseline tennis, the better. End of the second set, he did that really well. Whether that was Federer going to the net himself or Federer drawing Del Potro in, which is a challenge, but when he was able to do it, he had great success. Federer anticipating the backhand cross court and either stepping in for a backhand down the line or running around and hitting a forehand. That's another thing with Del Potro's backhand. Here's something in the weakness category. Del Potro is hitting his backhand cross court like what seems to me 75-80% of the time. So Federer is able to anticipate that and take advantage. Look out for that the next time these 2 play, because I do think this was big for Federer. One of the areas he was able to have a lot of success with. Remember, this match could have went either way. We could have been talking about 5 reasons why Federer won this match. So that's why I feel like it's important to go over these things. And then, let's see, what's the other one? Make Delpo defend on his backhand. That's the 3rd thing that I thought worked for Federer. This is way easier said than done, but I talked about this. At 4-all, he got the break by attacking Del Potro's backhand, making him take that left hand off of it, and then he can really attack. So those are 3 things that I noticed were working really well for Federer. Number 2, power difference. Now, the power difference is always there, but it doesn't always play such a big role. And I think the reason why it played a big role in this match is the conditions at Indian Wells. It's a gritty, high-bouncing hard court. And I think the more important part of that is gritty. It's not so easy to hit through this court. unless you're Juan Martin Del Potro. Del Potro made it look easy. For Federer, it's a little difficult. Obviously, he can do it, but he can't do it with the same ease that Del Potro can do it. I feel like if these two played on grass, you wouldn't see the power difference as much. It would be much less pronounced. But because this court is gritty and slow, and the bounce is also, the high bounce doesn't bother Del Potro, which is always nice for him. Because it's so slow, I felt like the power difference made a big difference. And then the last one, Del Potro's, excuse me, post-surgery improvements. It's the urgency on the forehand. He does this better than anyone on tour. Every shot should have an intention. I talk about this a lot with tactics. The best tacticians in tennis always have an intention. And with Del Potro and his forehand, every forehand he hits has something going for it. He always has an intention, and it's usually an aggressive intention. 4 ways to attack: depth, width, pace, timing. Del Potro's balls always have some of those aspects going for them. Even when he trades, and he doesn't trade much. I feel like, it's mostly, building, finishing, counterpunching, occasionally defending. That's how aggressive Del Potro is. That's how heavy his average forehand is. He's always looking to add something to that forehand that could break his opponent's contact point. And the reason why I think Del Potro got so good at that is because he got used to having to capitalize on forehands, because he didn't get to hit a lot of them because everyone was attacking that backhand. So when he got a forehand, he had to capitalize on it. He had to put something on it. He needed to do something good with it. He needed to get on the attack. And now that his backhand is solid, and that quality has carried over with his forehand, it's continued. It's made Del Potro so dangerous in this post-wrist surgery era, and I think he's playing so well. That's all I got for this one. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.